dirt and rock began to loosen and crumble down the mountain face, just above the Sangla Chitkool Road in HP. Before anyone knew it, it was raining boulders the size of cars. This footage was captured, and you can see huge boulders rain from above, crushing anything they come into contact with. Just watching this gives me goosebumps. Just the feeling of seeing these things coming towards you must have been just terrifying. The boulders continued to rain from above, ricocheting and bouncing as they tumbled down. One boulder slammed into a bridge, taking it out like it was nothing. Now, just below the landslide was actually a tourist bus carrying 11 people, including the driver. And as they drove along without a care in the world, they heard the unmistakable deafening roar above them. They could do nothing. A huge boulder slammed into the bus, killing 8 instantly, while another started to come with injuries on the way to the hospital. One of the tourists on the bus was a woman named Dr. Deepa Sharma. As Miss Deepa enjoyed her backpacking trip across India, on July the 24th, she shared this eerie photo on Twitter with the caption of, "Life is nothing without Mother Nature." She would die just hours after posting this. The Prime Minister announced a compensation of £2,000 to each of the victims' next of kin. £500 financial aid was given to the injured. This famous footage begins in the centre of Taiwan's capital, Taipei. At around 10:52 a.m. on February the 4th, 2015, TransAsia Airways Flight 235 departed from Kinmen Airport in Taipei to a neighbouring island. The plane was an ATR-72 turboprop plane carrying 53 passengers and 5 crew members on board. The pilots were pretty experienced, both ranked as captains, with one with a total of 4,914 flight hours, and the other pilot had 6,922 flight hours. Now, takeoff went well, and the passengers soon settled in for their short flight. But shortly after launch, and I mean literally within 2 minutes, a fault in the second engine caused it to have issues, causing it to lose power completely. The pilots worked to fix the issue, but sadly, they misdiagnosed the problem and shut down the one working remaining engine. The aircraft reached an altitude of 1,630 feet before it began its descent. Many witnessed as the plane came flying across Taipei, and in this video, it can be seen a short distance away. But in this one, you can see as the plane banks sharply and clips its top roof before crashing into the nearby river. This was the last recording from the flight deck. Rescue operations immediately began and got to work pulling people from the frayed wreckage. Emergency teams cut open the plane while it was in the water, but could not reach the passengers trapped in the front section as it had completely submerged. Of the 53 passengers and 5 crew that were on board, only 15 survived, including a 2-year-old boy and 1 flight attendant. This incident made many question how a perfectly fine plane with 2 experienced pilots could come crashing out of the sky for no apparent reason. This clip has a little background, but it's filmed on Bolivia's death road, famously featured on Top Gear's Bolivia special in 2009. Oh boy. Stop there! As far as I can tell, the clip was filmed in December of 2011, and it shows a double-decker bus as it travelled on Bolivia's death road. They were driving along when all of a sudden they came across a part of the road that seemed to have been damaged in a landslide. It didn't look like the bus could possibly make it past, but there was nowhere to turn around and no way to reverse back on themselves. The driver commanded his 50 passengers to get off the bus and wait on the road while he attempted to manoeuvre it solo. And this is when the nail-biting video begins. The bus drives on, and it looks like he's going to make it. As the passengers stood by watching, within a moment, it all goes wrong. Unbeknownst to the driver, the back wheel failed to get a grip on the mud. Its entire back end teetered dangerously close to the precipice, and as the driver slammed on the accelerator, the bus's back end slid over the edge. Within a blink of an eye, the entire bus slipped straight out of view over the rocky cliff. It's only when they look over the edge that they then realise how far he's fallen. The bus tumbled 160 passengers stood by, completely confused as to what they were going to do, and in complete shock at what they had just witnessed. This story begins in Huntsville, Alabama. On October 2nd, 2021, a 29-year-old woman named Christina Nance was finally reported missing after she randomly stopped turning up to work and replying to messages. Now, Christina was described as a very fun-loving person. She loved to sing and was positive and sweet. When her family reported her missing, they told the police that they'd not seen her since September the 25th, 1 week previously. While Christina was known to the police through the crisis intervention team, they were perplexed as to why she would just up and walk away, leaving everything behind. Christina had some mental health problems, but nothing that would just make her disappear without a message or a note or anything. Police searched far and wide. They searched her property, they searched her car, and she was nowhere to be seen. Days passed, and she still had not responded to any messages whatsoever, so her family began to worry. Fast forward to Thursday, October 7th, around 9:15 a.m., the Huntsville Police Department began their workday like any other. As they walked in, one of the officers noticed a pair of shoes sitting beside an unused police van. As the officer approached the van, he noticed that one of the windows was down. Putting two and two together, he thought someone must be sleeping in the van, so the officer unlocked the doors. This is when the horrific discovery was made. As he opened the door, he discovered that Christine had been locked inside the van. She was clearly gone. She had been dead for days. The car's humid environment had massively sped up the decomposition process. She had maggots literally wriggling out of her head. You don't tell me nobody can smell her nowhere? I mean, nowhere? My cousin. Finding away with maggots. It's all in her face. Her family couldn't help but wonder why nobody noticed the smell. The police were also confused as to how she'd managed to get in there. With the shoes and the window, their initial thoughts were immediately murder. So they immediately checked the surrounding CCTV cameras. As these were unmonitored, anything could have happened. The police spent hours sifting through the CCTV footage before they came across something. Captured on CCTV, they discovered the bizarre footage of what looked like Christina walking around the Huntsville Police car park on September the 25th. On that day, it showed her approaching unmanned cars and sitting on bonnets. She does this for 10 minutes before she approaches the van. She checked the van, checked that it was unlocked, opened the doors, and for an unknown reason, climbed in the back. Now, what she did not know is that this van was an old inmate transport van. While the doors would open, they would lock on themselves once they were closed, meaning someone else has to let you out. It was police policy to ensure these vans were locked. I can only imagine the feeling of realizing that it's stuck. Footage shows that once she entered, she did not leave. The car's windows could be seen being pushed and forced down from the inside, and movement could be seen in the vehicle up to September the 28th. The bizarre part was the fact that the window was open plenty enough to scream for help or get someone's attention. Sadly, for one reason or another, she couldn't or didn't shout for help, and nobody found her in there until 12 days later. By the time they found her, an autopsy showed that she'd been dead for 8 to 10 days. However, her cause of death was inconclusive. Her family were absolutely furious and demanded more answers. They feel, despite the video footage, they couldn't help but wonder why she didn't shout for help, why she got in the van in the first place, and why she was left undiscovered for so long. They accused the police of manslaughter for leaving the death trap of a van unlocked, and the police openly took responsibility for it. Due to this, Christina's family are currently working on suing the ever-living daylights out of them. This crazy footage begins in Nepal on the 15th of February 2023. At 10:33 a.m., Yeti Airlines Flight 691 left for its scheduled flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara in Nepal. It was around a 25-minute journey. Now, Flight 691 was a 15-year-old twin-engine turboprop ATR 72-500. That day, the plane was under command of Senior Captain Kamal AC with Anju Katiwada as co-pilot. They had 21,900 and 6,396 flight hours, respectively. That day, the weather was clear and perfect for flying. Now, the flight was going well, as smooth as you'd expect, until they came into land at the newly built airport in Pokhara. As Flight 691 came into land, something wasn't right. The landing gear opened, but at 311 feet, air traffic control noticed that the aircraft nose was noticeably high. All of a sudden, the engines dropped to zero thrust and the left wing dropped. Within just a second, the plane crashed into the ground. The video filmed from the ground showed the aircraft banking steeply to the left before crashing 65 meters away. This was also all captured from within the aircraft. Now, I will warn you, this footage is not for the faint of heart. A video that was streamed live on Facebook by one of the passengers named Sonu Jasiwal was able to capture moments just before it went down. Now, I don't think I can show all of this footage, but the plane soon takes a nosedive. It then explodes into a ball of flames. It crash landed straight into a gorge on the bank of the Seti Gandaki River. When rescue got there, it was dire. The plane was engulfed in flames, with one half of the fuselage in the gorge. They quickly realized that there were no survivors. 72 people had died. A true tragedy. An investigation into the crash revealed that less than 2 minutes before the crash, Captain Kahadiwada called for the plane's flaps to be extended, saying flaps 30. However, the flight data recorder at that moment did not record any flight movement. Instead of the flaps opening, the propeller rotation speed of both engines slowly decreased and the torque began dropping to zero, suggesting that one of the pilots may have accidentally moved the power lever instead of the lever controlling the flaps. This caused both engines to feather, meaning that there was no thrust in each of them. To make it worse, it was also found that the pilots failed to follow routine checklists. Just 14 seconds before the crash, Kadiwada handed over control to the much more experienced pilot, Kamal, but by then, it was too late. Some people believe that the root cause was the fact that the pilots had not gotten used to coming in at that angle because it was a new airport. But this, we can never be sure. This turned out to be the deadliest aviation accident in Nepalese domestic history. May all of the victims in this crash and this video rest in peace. But that is the end of this video. Now, I'm trying something different with this format, so do let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like list content like this, go and smash that subscribe button now. But as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
In these true 911 calls, the killers don't even try to hide their hideous crimes. 83-year-old Moral Lavery called 911 in September 2006 and confessed that he smothered his wife, 50-year-old Sherry Lavery, to death with a pillow. Was this an act of compassion or something more sinister?
911 emergency, can you please fire ambulance? I have just smothered my wife. I'm coming to the police, sir. Police service, I can help you. I have just smothered my wife.
need the information from you.
All right, okay. That's,
15th of July, you said? 1928?
that's correct.
Okay. Mr. White Girls, what's you?
She was a chronic, a very chronic alcoholic.
Okay. What's she, was she drunk tonight or what?
Yes, she was.
What was her name?
She was Sherry, S-H-E-R-R-Y. Lovely.
Okay. Okay, where is she now?
926 Newborn Road East.
No, but where is she in the house now?
There.
Okay. Are you there or not?
Yes, I decided to go.
Okay, in the bedroom?
Yes.
How old is she?
She found her 51.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just typing here. Is she breathing at all? Okay.
I put the cream on her face.
Okay.
I held it down. And the breakthrough stopped.
Okay. Did you have an argument with her tonight? Or did you have an argument with her tonight? Okay. 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 What caused you to do it tonight? Sorry? Okay. 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 So yeah, was it a mutual decision or was it your decision to do it? Okay. Okay. Noah Lavery called 911 and told them that he had just smothered his bedridden wife. He also described that the decision was mutual based on his wife's incurable alcoholism. However, prosecutors believed that the man simply wanted his wife dead. Lavery allegedly had committed the act to end his wife's drunken suffering. In a taped interview with police, he said, "I don't regret what I've done. I was taking her pain away." Sherry had reportedly been an alcoholic and also suffered from depression. An autopsy revealed that she had so much alcohol and antidepressants in her system at the time of her death that the substances alone would have killed her. During court, an angry and heartbroken daughter of the couple, Lee Makarewicz, read out her victim impact statement. She was telling those in the courtroom about her mother's extraordinary personality and the love that her parents shared. She stated that her mental illness and addiction took her life long before Noel did, and she also said that she understood why her father did what he did, but that she wished that it happened differently. She did not speak well of the justice system, the Crown, Noel Lavery's lawyer, and the media. The Crown fought for the man who was acquitted of murder to be sentenced to 8 years behind bars for manslaughter, but the defense argued against this, fighting for a 2-year conditional sentence instead. In 2012, Justice Donna Shelley sentenced the man to 2 years of house arrest, stating that sending him to jail would not serve society. "He's already suffered the worst possible punishment," Shelley declared. "He's lost his wife after watching her suffer horribly for a long time. Mr. Lavery loved Mrs. Lavery a great deal, and he took exceptionally good care of her. He suffered greatly watching her suffer." At around 2:45 a.m. on Friday, November 7th, a Tennessee man, later identified as Joseph Parker, called 911, claiming to have murdered his wife with a .38 caliber handgun on their 12th wedding anniversary. In the chilling 911 tape, in a soft, matter-of-fact voice, Joseph thoroughly describes his gruesome crime to the emergency operator.
911 location, emergency.
Yes.
You're in Springfield?
Yes, Springfield gas station's right behind open doors.
Okay, what's going on?
Alright, this is what's next. I've been married 12 years. On the 4th, which would have been 2 nights ago at 4 a.m. I shot my wife in the temple of her head. I thought I killed her. And I put her in the freezer out in the garage. I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead. She's got a big hole in the temple of her head. And you get her body moved around in there. I think I broke her wrist. She was frozen for being in the patient in the same 48 hours now. This is no train call. I need somebody to get out there and help out and clear. I cleared the premises. I got away. I'm not going to be there. But I promise you, it's a legit call. I need somebody to get out there and help her. Because I love Bill Roberts. It's hard to believe after that, but, I need to get somebody out there to help her.
Okay, what happened that caused you to do that?
It's a long story. Don't want to get into it. Just want to get into getting somebody out there to help her. I left the front door open. I left all the lights on in the house. So it would be kind of easy to find a flat house to ride on. But I left the front door open. She's in the garage. You go through the kitchen to get into the garage. You'll see her once you get in the garage. She
road, 10, 15 miles, I'm gonna call 911 just to help out here. I thought she was dead 2 days. I checked on her. She was still alive. She was frozen. Today she's frozen solid. From 8, she's still alive. She's got a big hole right over her head. I shot her with a 38 caliber handgun. And there's a big hole up over her head. I didn't see anything. What is her name? Samantha Parker. She a white female? Yes. How old is she? 43 years old. And how long ago did you leave there? An hour ago. And that's the last time you saw her? Oh, yes, that's the last time I saw her. And she was still in the garage? Yes, she's still in the garage. I made her as comfortable as I could make her. Everything good water. She's in bad shape. Really needs to plan to help her. Okay, what is your name? My name is Joe. So you get there. So when we get arrested tonight and all that, so we don't have a history of domestic disputes. We're never going to call police stuff. We had a real bad night a couple nights ago. Really need to help her. Okay, we'll send somebody out there to her. Just like others, I think she died. She had a big hole where the temple of her head is. Right. I love her. I still love her. I'm loved her every day. I'm married to her. So it's a rough stretch here. But anyway, checked on her. She's still alive. Now we'll get her might help her to know what they're doing. Okay, we'll send somebody out there. What was your first name? I'm not going to give you my name, sir. Okay, that's fine. Hey, make a note on there. I left the front door open.